Good morning, 8th grade, and welcome to today's video lesson. This is Math with Miss U, and we are learning about the power of a power and zero exponents property of exponents. Alright, so sounds like a mouthful, but it's going to be just fine. Please pause the video right now. Make sure you have a pencil or writing utensil and a piece of paper so you can copy down the notes. I will let you know what to copy and what to send me on Google Classroom. Alright, so the standard we're working on today is still 8EE1, just like with yesterday's video. If you have not watched yesterday's video, please make sure you click the link. Go ahead and take a look at that. You will need to know yesterday's lesson in order to be successful in today's lesson. Alright, so 8EE1 is all about the properties of exponents. And we are going to explore zero exponents with this little activity. So, what does it mean to raise a number to the 0th power? Anytime you raise a number to the 0th power, you get something really special. Alright, so I'm going to show you what you get rather than telling you with this activity. So, filling in the value of these exponential expressions, 2 to the 3rd power is 8, 2 to the 2nd power is 4, and 2 to the 1st power is 2. And I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest of the first 3 rows. Alright, so here we are. Now, 2 to the 3rd power is 8 because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And 2 to the 4th power is 4 because 2 times 2 is 4. But how do you get from 8 to 4? Right, so some of you might say minus 4, but we really want to keep it multiplication or division. So to get from 8 to 4, you would divide by 2, and 2 is our base here. And to get from 4 to 2, that's another dividing by 2, and you're dividing by the base. So every time we go down a row, we divide by the base. So every time the exponent goes down by 1, we divide by 2, right? And that's just like yesterday's lesson. When you divide, you subtract the exponent, right? So 2 to the 0th power would have to be this 2 divided by 2 because we're going down an exponent, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. And here we would divide by the base. 3 divided by 3 is 1. And by now you should see a pattern. Divide by the base. 4 divided by 4 is 1. And here, divide by the base. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So, this activity helps us see that no matter what the base is, whenever we raise a number to the power of 0, the 0th power, is always going to equal 1. Alright, so that is the 0th power, and here are the steps for the power of a power rule. Pause the video right now and read the steps. So this is the first 2 things that you are going to write on your notes that you will submit to me in Google Classroom. So power of a power property, when you have a number that's already raised to an exponent, and we'll call this a power. So when you have a power and it's being raised to another power, so it says a to the m raised to the n power, what you will do is you'll keep the base and multiply the exponents. Alright, so that is power of a power property, and 0th exponent property. No matter the number, if it's raised to the 0th power, it's going to be equal to 1. Alright, so that says 1, by the way. Make sure you copy this down in your notes and send it to me via Google Classroom, along with the activities on the back. So pause the video now so you can get this down. Alright, so the I do problem says simplify the expressions. The first 2 I have on the top use power of a power property, and the ones on the bottom apply the 0th exponent property. So starting up here, a to the second power times b, all raised to the third power. Now this b here doesn't have an exponent, and whenever I have a variable or number without an exponent, I'm going to write 1 as the exponent because it's raised to the first power. It's all by itself, right? So now I'm going to use power of a power property, but I'm going to expand first so I can show you how it works. In this expression, a squared times b is our base, and 3 is our exponent. And yes, I do want you to copy this and send it to me. Let me move down so you can see that. Alright, so this is our base, this is our exponent. The exponent tells us how many times to multiply the base by itself. So I'm going to multiply my base by itself 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And now within my base, I have another exponential expression that has a base of a and an exponent of 2, which means I have to multiply a by itself 2 times. And b is by itself 1 time, so it's just like that. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3. Now, if I were to multiply all of these together and write them as an exponential expression, I want to keep the ones with the same base together, and I want to add their exponents, right? So I have 6 a's being multiplied here, so that's a to the 6th power, and I have 3 b's being multiplied here, so that's b to the 3rd power. Right, and I don't need a dot, but I can put one there for multiplication. And that is the simplified expression. Now, instead of doing the expansion every time, I can use the power of a power property that says you multiply the exponents if you are raising a power to another power. So, what this becomes, so it's like distributing the exponent to everything inside. So that a to the second is really a to the second times 3 power, or a to the 2 times 3 power, and that b to the first is now b to the 1 times 3 power, right? 2 times 3 2 times 3 is 6, and 1 times 3 is 3, right? And I get the same thing, so that means I can just go ahead doing it this way instead of working super hard. Work smart, not hard. Alright, next one. So I have 2 over 5 to the 2nd power raised to the 3rd power. Let me add my exponent of 1 and distribute my outer exponent. So this becomes 2 to the 1st power times 3, or 2 to the 1 times 3 power over 5 to the 2 times 3 power, which is 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 3 is 6. Right? And if I wanted to simplify that further and give the value of the numerator and denominator, that would be 8 over 15,625. Alright, but I like this one better. They're both correct, but that's easier to read. Alright, so now looking at the bottom two, I can do this one of 2 ways. I can keep the base and add the exponents like we learned yesterday. So 3 to the 2 plus 0 power would be 3 to the 2nd power, which also simplifies to 9. Or I know that anything raised to the 0th power is 1, and this simply just says 3 to the 2nd power times 1, which is itself wham bam thank you ma'am. And last but not least, Now this is taking the 0 power and applying it to what we learned today. So raise this power to the power of 0. You take that 0 and distribute or multiply the inside exponents, and you will get a to the 14th times 0 power, which is just a to the 0th power, which equals 1. Alright, so make sure you have these on your notes as well. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to pause the video for the redo and try these on your own. Alright, your exit ticket is going to have questions that look like this and the ones I showed you earlier. Pause the video right now, try this on your own, and then I will work them out.